Good morning. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. It actually is a terrible rainy day here today where I'm at, and I ran the children to school for my sister because she has a very long day. So I'm actually going back to bed. I'm just in my 7th Avenue beauty robe. So I'm not repping any t-shirt, any music or anything like that today, but there is a special on this robe to show you guys. I don't know how many she has left because you know how quick Melody sells out. But go to 7thAvenueBeauty.net. This may not work today. Let's see. 7thAvenueBeauty.net. She had them for $20. That's a good price for this robe. And this is how it looks. It's a short robe. And then it has 7th Avenue Beauty on the back. So go there. Good morning, Linda Gamble. How are you morning? Good morning. I'm going to do a quick hot topics today, just to have a live under my belt because I'm off today. And I'm going back to bed after this. Something has been going around. Luckily, it's avoiding me, but I'm trying to be really careful because I'm traveling in a couple of weeks. So with my hot topics, Mayor Brandon Scott out of Baltimore, he's one of my new favorite mayors. And I just wanted to have some positive information for us this morning. So I was going to do a Married to Medicine review. I still may do a quick review, but I'm not sure if I even feel like doing that. But I know I'm going to do these hot topics. I'm going to pull up the live and see how it shows up here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to go over on my hot topics is Mayor Brandon Scott and what he actually said after the day after the election. It was really touching. Someone even said it. Some of the girls. Okay, that's an old video of mine. I'm trying to pull up the live to see how that actually shows up on live. And we'll see if anybody else comes in. I actually just did live right off the cuff, so YouTube hasn't had time to do any notifications. So that's the risk of me not planning. Okay, this is okay, I want to show. That was his speech the day after Election Day. First thing they say about him, Brandon Scott, I'm calling him Brandon Scott. Brandon Scott gets a second term and a chance at legacy. So he did win his election. That is the Baltimore mayor. Sexy Diva, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Happy Monday. I'm having a quick hot topics, and it wasn't a planned live, so I'm off the cuff. So this is Brandon Scott. Please like, subscribe to the video. Thank you so much for being here. That's Brandon Scott. I'm going to show the speech that he encouraged us with the day after the election. First, I just want to show a few of his accomplishments. Because him being a younger mayor and showing up the way that he does, I don't like some of the coverage that he gets. You see Brandon Scott, Mayor Brandon Scott in Baltimore. He's really brilliant. Mayor Brandon Scott's first term report highlights a 34% drop in non-fatal shootings in a year without homicides in 6 Baltimore neighborhoods. Investments in youth programs, housing, and equitable development. So that is Brandon Scott. That is Baltimore's mayor. They also have Westmore. They have a black governor. This is Maryland. We're unserious. The mayor posted this. This is funny. This is Black America. So they have I know we ended up with a senator, one of the senators. That's amazing. Because VP Harris, I guess after her VP term is up, I'm not sure if she's going to want to run for anything right away. I wouldn't blame her if she didn't. I wouldn't. So the state of Maryland, city of Baltimore, they have governor, senator, attorney general, and the mayor are black. And that's one of the blue states. They're doing an amazing job. Amazing job. And I just want us to hear this.
Extremely disappointed in the results, but it is clear that there will be a second Trump presidency. It is really on my heart this morning to say that as a man, but more importantly, as a Black man, that this country does not deserve Black women or Black people, but specifically Black women. This morning, I woke up and I just gave my wife a hug because I know how heavy this is weighing on Black women. And they have carried this country and saved this country too many times and continue to be the most disrespected human beings on the planet. And it, quite frankly, it disgusts me. I'm thinking about the world that we're going to bring our daughter into in a few months. And I want the vice president to know that her and her team did everything right in the right way. But the unfortunate reality is that this country is still steeped in racism, sexism, and misogyny. I am personally proud of her, and I know that so many others are the same. We appreciate her tenacity, her focus, her decency, and how she handled herself throughout this campaign. And I don't want to hear anybody saying that they should have done something different. She should have been running longer. The fact is that they did everything that a campaign can do and more. But we as a country really have a lot of soul searching to do. And that's really what I want to say about that today. But I want Black women to hear from me to know that as a Black man, I am going to triple my efforts to lift them up, to make sure that they're supported, to make sure that they're seen, and to make sure that other folks are challenged into understanding that they alone can't be the soul of this democracy, and that they alone can't save us from ourselves time and time again. They alone can be the people that show up and show up in such a way that folks who are voting against their own best interest, that they are saved as well. They can't do it anymore. And we have to be there to understand that reality and lift them up. I don't know everything that a second Trump presidency will bring to Baltimore. But if he follows through on some of his dark, violent promises, we know that we are looking at challenges in the years ahead. But I want Baltimoreans to hear me clearly. We have a lot to be proud of in our leadership in the state and in the city. And I know all of my colleagues in office will agree when I say that Baltimore will always be a place that welcomes and protects our residents, no matter what they look like, who they love, where they were born, or how they choose to live their lives, as long as they're doing it in a legal manner. That will not change. And I will continue fighting for Baltimoreans no matter what.
That was nice. That was the mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott. I just wanted to have something encouraging come up this morning. I was going to do the Married to Medicine review, and I still may if enough people care enough about it. Good morning, Sharon Galbalt. Good morning, Dot Willie. Good morning again, Linda Gamble, my wonderful moderator. Sexy Diva, hello. Everyone that came in, happy Monday. I was telling Linda that I'm going back to bed. I ran the kids to school for my sister because she has a 12-hour shift today. She's in the medical field, and they are having a lot of people coming up with the upper respiratory thing that people are talking about. So we were already talking last week about getting the immune system up and just being careful. If you need to mask or you feel better masking, mask, wash your hands and all of that, because it's getting dangerous out here. And then I see a few other hot topics. I just wanted some positive type coverage today. Married to Medicine was another. The show wasn't that great. They tried to do some conflict resolution, but they ended with the fight that they had last week. So I'm unsure if I feel like even doing the review. And we have another positive that happened. This is Denzel Washington getting a Presidential Medal of Freedom. I'm going to scroll all the way through. Then walking up to the White House. What happened? It's Ken and Trish. Ken and Trish are nothing I need to see right now. Okay, here we go. President Joe Biden. Did everybody know Denzel Washington was 70 years old? I didn't realize it. I feel like I grew up with him, but he was a little older than me. I didn't know that. He still looks great though. He looks amazing. I'll find the picture of him and his beautiful wife, Pauletta. Magic Johnson and Cookie Johnson are great friends to them. So they're all at the White House. President Joe Biden is working right up to the last day, everybody. He put another something in place to help try to protect Social Security. That's something else I'm worried about. Even though my parents are no longer living, that was a big part of their income toward the last part of their life. Small pension and Social Security. Audrey Gravins, good morning. Good morning, everybody. The network specialist, good morning. Thank you for coming in. Everybody, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining a quick morning of Hot Topics. Thank you. I'm finishing up my water. Make sure I get enough in me because I'm going to go back to bed and try to get a few more hours before school is out and I have to pick up the children from my sister. So we started out with Mayor Brandon Scott of Baltimore, just giving positive words the day after the election. And then we showed Denzel Washington receiving his Presidential Medal of Freedom. And then there was something else positive I wanted to show us, which I didn't know. This is the rapper Young Dolph. The news of Young Dolph. He's from Memphis, and this is the one that was in a cookie shop or something, and he was actually killed by someone that looks like him, two young men. Someone tweeted his location or something like that, and they killed him. But before his death at the age of 36, Young Dolph owned over 100 properties in Memphis and would buy a house for his children every year on their birthdays. And the source of that is Essence of Black Culture. Isn't that beautiful? That's amazing. 36 years old and left a lot of legacy. And that's his partner and his children. His children are not going to grow up with him, but he left a lot of legacy, giving them a house each year on their birthday. That's amazing. The other, just a cute little picture I wanted to show you. This is Candy and Mama Joyce. Mama Joyce is one of the original reality TV mamas. And we all remember Mama Joyce. Mama Joyce, if anybody did anything to Candy, and Candy was full grown, Mama Joyce is right there to defend Candy. And she just had a strong arm on Candy, but she feels responsible for a lot of Candy's success. A lot of that is Candy's work ethic too, which was instilled in her by Mama Joyce. But Mama Joyce is nothing like the new reality show TV mamas we're starting to see. So Mama Joyce, the worst thing she would do is say, what did she say? Ain't no mountain high or valley low that'll keep me off you. If you mess with Candy. I think she threw a shoe at somebody, but I don't think she's trying to hit Carmen. That's Candy's longtime friend. She thought Carmen was dating Candy's husband, Todd. So throwing a shoe past somebody's head, I can understand that. It's not right, but it's not what we're seeing now with a lot of these reality TV moms. Everybody else, thank you so much for coming in. Sharon Garbo says, I didn't realize Denzel was that old. I didn't either. He has a new role coming up. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Black Panther, but he's having a role in Black Panther. I don't know how that's going to play out. And then he's in one of the Gladiator films that's coming out. So that is really interesting. I want to see that. I haven't been to see Mufasa. My niece asked me to go to Mufasa. The new actor, Aaron Pierre, I think he's a Nigerian British actor, but he's beautiful. There was a picture of him coming down the Spirit Tunnel on Jennifer Hudson, and he was just really, really interesting to see how people react to him. He's a really good looking man, and he has that voice, young Mufasa voice. So that might be something I may go to see. Wicked is another one. I'm not sure. I'm going to check my Hot Topics folder again and see what else is in here. Okay, the Medal of Freedom, we had Mayor Brandon Scott. Oh, here's something funny from Rihanna. Rihanna's just raising her children with her partner. We don't see a lot of her, but she's online a lot. So Rihanna responds to someone asking for an album. Like I said, she's between Barbados and wherever else she lives, and she's raising her children. Whilst referring to her forehead, he asked her for an album. He said, "We want an album, forehead. This is supposed to be a fan of hers. We want an album, forehead. So that's what they're doing on social media. So she said, listen, Lorenzo, you ain't cute enough to be calling me by my black name, you dizzy F. That's Rihanna. Rihanna don't worry about how she's going to look to these people. If you're asking for her for something, you're asking this billionaire with 2 toddlers to go back to work when she doesn't have to, don't refer to her by her forehead. We can talk about her forehead. We talk about Sade's forehead because it's beautiful. Sonny Minx has a forehead. We call them the 8 heads, and it's cute. It's usually a beautiful face under that big forehead. And she let him know, you don't talk to me like that. So I don't mind little jokes like that. I think it's funny. Oh, and this is the other one I wanted to show. This is Viola Davis. She's originally from South Carolina. She grew up in a lot of poverty. I still have to read her book. Viola Davis overcame a childhood marked by rage, alcoholism, and abuse to rise as a beacon of resilience and talent. Last night, she was honored with the prestigious Cecil B. DeMille Award. That is our lovely, beautiful Viola Davis. I don't know what she's working on right now. Any movie I watch of hers, I love it. Fences is one. That's one of the ones I really love. And she took the side baby in and raised him. And she said, because he said he tried to guilt her. This is a motherless child. It was his child with a woman, and the woman died in childbirth. You never know what's going to happen when you're out there doing that. A motherless child. And she said, she's not motherless. I'm going to mother this child. She said, you no longer have a wife. And she raised that baby. So that's Viola Davis. Anybody else have any plans today? Did anyone get to see the Married to Medicine episode? Like I said, I watched it, but it was kind of lukewarm. It was continuing on from the fight that they had, or the argument that they had last week with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. And then also they had separate arguments between Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly and Sweet Tea and Quad. Sweet Tea and Quad was not actually shown, but was referred to on Heavenly's Patreon and also on her YouTube channel. Did anybody get to watch that yet? It may not even be worth watching. It was like a 40-something minute episode, but it didn't really do too much. I know Dr. Jackie was saying that she was hurt, but she showed up to dinner with a sling, but she was kind of joking with the ladies. But it actually could have been worse. When you start fighting like that and people get into that blacked out rage, that can be kind of dangerous. Let me see how long I've been live. Okay, it's 17 and a half minutes or so. I just wanted to really come in, say good morning, see how everyone was doing, and get a live out for Monday. I'll see if there's anything else in here that's good news and hot topics. And then we'll get out of here. Oh, I'm wearing the 7th Avenue Beauty robe. I said I was going back to bed. Mel had these for $20 on her site, 7th Avenue Beauty. And this is what it looks like. It's comfortable. Little mid sleeve. It's kind of short. I wear it over my pajamas just in the house. She said, go get your robes at 7thavenuebeauty.net. She had a $20 deal. And then Melly's going back to work tonight. She has her property preservation class. So that was on sale for, I think it's $1,500. And then there's some programs that are giving the half off. And then you could pay for it. Like if you get Affirm or Klarna, one of those other, PayPal is one, but I think one of them run a credit check. The other just divides it into 4s. But I'll give a quick story time, and that'll give me probably like 20 minutes. I took her class this time last year. I actually started up the business. When you take the class, it is 5 weeks, I think it was. She sends you the electronic book, and that book sells for like a couple of $100. But when you take the class, you don't have to buy any materials. Everything that you need, she sends it to you. And so you have your zip drive of forms. You have everything that you need to start your LLC and start your business. Good morning, everybody coming in. Thank you for being here. TNTG Mom, good morning. I'm telling about, just talking quickly about the property preservation class, because Melody has a new class, a new group of students starting tonight. So I paid for mine. I took the class last year. I had just lost my mother last year, so I wasn't really focused on that. I didn't up and start the business until March. I got my LLC. I had student loans forgiven. everybody. I had $38,000 in student loans. I had taken out $19,000 starting from when I was about 17 and went away to college. And I paid over the years. I was in forbearance over some years, but long story short, there was a program that came out where you converted to a low payment plan depending on your income. So that's what I was doing. And then when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took office, I submitted the email form. It was just a quick form, and you submit it by email, and it was requesting forgiveness. If you had paid more than 10 years, there was some other criteria. Because like I said, I was 17 years old when I went away to college and started taking out student loans. And then I had to take some time off from school, finally graduated, and then I still had these loans last year. So I had submitted that paperwork by email, forgot about it. I got an email one day saying, congratulations, your direct student loans have been forgiven. That's the other point. A lot of people, they will get solicitations, because I did, from Discover and companies like that. Citibank is another one. They want those student loans, like Sally Mae, Willie D, all of those federally backed loans. Never change from a federally backed product to commercial, because the commercial, they're not going to have compassion for you if you need forbearance or something like that. So my student loans were always directly through the government. So they forgave those loans to the tune of the amount that was left, because a lot of it was interest. Because I was in forbearance over the years, I was still making payments. So they forgave that $38,000. I received a small refund check based on that money that I paid over what I had actually borrowed, because most of it ended up being interest. So that's what a lot of people don't know. I don't like the people complaining, oh, I didn't go to college and these people got these loans forgiven. I don't feel guilty about it. I feel blessed. It's amazing. I'm happy about it. I'm still reading. I follow certain people. I have friends. They're still being forgiven. And some people, they didn't get theirs forgiven yet, but I think that's something that they're working on right up until the new person comes in. I'm going to read a couple of comments. TNTG Mom is speaking to everyone. Good morning, TNTG Mom again. Dot Willie. Ooh, Dot Willie, we were talking about the fences. A doctor friend of mine raised his outside child. Dot Willie, that happens. I heard that happened to within Smokey Robinson's family, Claudette. He'd been married to her for years, and then they have a younger child that is actually an outside child, but he's still married. TNTG Mom, Dot Willie speaking to. Good morning, good morning. Just signing in to get my forgiven. Sylvia B, good luck. I hope that happens. That's my Sylvia S. Hey, how are you doing? Good morning. That's my sis. That's my real life sis. Oh, yeah, I got mine forgiven. Okay, yeah, good. That's amazing. I was able to buy a truck for my business. I was speaking about Melody Cherie is doing her property preservation class tonight. I'm going to give the story time on that, the quick story time. One of our jobs, and it's a part of the package, Melody gives you her connections. There's 5 companies that you apply to. You have to do a vendor application. Part of the class, you'll get an LLC. You'll apply for your tax ID number, and that you actually have a separate business that you have set up. There are small funds involved. I know you have to be insured. The different companies have requirements that you need. So you're going to need a certain amount of insurance. My insurance fund's about $108 a month. The down payment was about $200 something. So there are a little bit out-of-pocket fees, but I'll be candid. The first job that we did, I paid $1,400 for the class. The first job that we did, I'm working with one of my nieces. She's a teacher, but she does a lot of other things on the side. First job that we accepted was to repair a fence. The city I live in, I think people know I live in Charlotte. I live in Charlotte. So we accept Charlotte, surrounding areas, and some of South Carolina. But my niece is outside of another city. So I put that city down because we don't want to North Carolina is large. We don't want to go over all 50 counties. So we accepted a repair of a fence job, sent a team out there. They gave a bid and an estimate that was accepted. And we made about $1,500 on that. So there was the class paid for. And then another job that was right here in Charlotte, I went out and assessed it. I took a lot of pictures. That's part of the things that's required from the vendors. They want you to take pictures at the property. So I took the pictures to see this was a tenant property. The lady was renting and she moved in and the house was beautiful. I went in They didn't cut down like some of the around her house bushes that were almost encompassing the house, just covering up the address, all of that. And a lot of it had poison ivy in it. She also had a problem where her dryer wasn't heating up. So there was something with the dryer vent needing to be blown out. And it was just like a little series of handyman type things. So that didn't even need a team. That was one guy that I went out and took my own pictures. Then I had the guy come out and get the price from him on how much it would cost. And it was like a couple of $100. And I submitted the request. It was accepted. And then on that job, we made about $600 or so, I think it was. But it was done. The job was done within 3 hours. And it was just like a little check sheet of things that we did. And it didn't, there was a profit made on that job as well. Now, the other story time I have and what has made me wary. We know we had the election. I started out with Brandon Scott speaking about this country and what's getting ready to happen again. Okay, I'm in a blue city in a red state. With my loan forgiveness, the reason I brought that up, I brought a used truck with that. That helps when we need to bring equipment and stuff like that to the jobs. But I was given a request. They wanted me to inspect a property. It was some damage or hurricane damage or something to it. I went out there, and I usually just go out to get the pictures. I'll go out by myself. I have a few people that work with me. One is a young man, and then he has a team that he brings with him if it's jobs where a lot more is going to be done. So this job was about an hour outside of Charlotte, which is Lincolnton. That's a smaller city. That is not blue, that's red. And I hate I have to use these terms, but it's a real thing. So when I get up there, it is a really country place. I start seeing signs, literal campaign signs for the person that's coming back into office. And it started looking more and more like Mayberry. Charlotte is a small city, but it's still a city. This place that I was driving to, and I'm driving close to an hour, it's about 40 something minutes, looking more and more like Mayberry. With the address, my MapQuest takes me to, the address runs out. It's a private road. So this is not maintained by the city. It's an actual private road. So I have to go get pictures to see what kind of damages this property had and to see if it's occupied. So I pulled, and I'm driving along. I pulled off the road to this private road, and it's maintained by gravel because they have to maintain it. They haven't paved the road. It's gravel. So I drive down the street. There's this election sign, and it's a one-way in, one-way out road. And I don't know if it were everybody on the street is family and they know each other, but I stick out like a sore thumb. So I find the address and get out of, I was in my car. I didn't take the truck up there. I only send the truck if we've taken equipment or something. So I'm in my car. I get out of my car, uncomfortable, take the pictures. And they have the vendors have a portal, depending on which vendor you use, they have a portal. You can submit the pictures at the site, and they do everything by GPS and coordinates. So they know that I'm not just sitting at home claiming that I went there. They know that I went to the property, I took the pictures, and I uploaded the pictures at the property. You can also put in comments. So I upload the pictures, and then I put in the comments. I'm sending you these pictures as a courtesy, but I will not be bidding for this job, just to let them know. The guy calls me. So what's going on? I said, I'm at the property. The property is not accessible because the road I went down is a private road. And then the people have their own driveways. This driveway was not maintained, and it was a mobile home. And I didn't want to take my car off of that road. It was a gravel road. And then their driveway was in such poor condition with potholes and everything. I have AAA, but I'm not going to be stuck in a private road an hour away from where I live. So I wasn't pulling into the driveway. And he said, well, are you safe? I said, yeah, I'm safe. Can you get the pictures? I said, I'm uploading the pictures. They're in the process of uploading, but I'm just letting you know, keep the job open because somebody else is going to have to do it. And he said, that's understandable. So you get paid for going out. I think that was just like a $40 job or something. It's something that's just like pictures or you put eyeballs on it. It's like $40. Some of it's not worth taking. But it was also going to be a trash out, depending on whether or not there was occupancy whether the people had abandoned the property. Just looking at it, there was a sign on the door, but I didn't see any cars in the yard, any activity that the people still lived there. Let me look at some comments in case y'all have questions. Just saying good morning to each other. And Sylvia S., that's my sis. That's also my moderator. I had Linda Gamble in here earlier. So property preservation is going to be a lot of different jobs you can do, and you can make a little bit of money. You can make, it just depends. You have to be smart accepting the job. Dot Willie says, I would have passed on it too. Yes, Dot Willie, it has to make sense. Like I said, me sending in the pictures, that's $40. The trash out, that can go up to a couple of $1,000, but it has to be safe. What if we get there and the truck's in a ditch or something like that, or it is not, I just didn't feel safe. Anything can happen. But I'll give one other story time. My niece and I had a quick cleaning. That can go from like $40 to $60. You can do that within 30 minutes, but you got to take pictures before and after. It's a home that is a rental home. A lot of corporations are owning property now and people are renting them. So this one, it looked like new properties because they were still building homes. This one it's like one of those, not even an Airbnb, like a short-term corporate. I don't know if maybe a professional had come in, lived in, and it was a nice house. But we did an empty one, and then we went to another address within the same community. You have a code for the door. My niece walks up to the door. I'm taking the pictures. I park the truck, and she has our supplies. She puts in the code, and somebody opened the door. So it was a man. He opened the door. This was supposed to be an unoccupied property. So my niece apologizes. She come back to the truck. I take a few more pictures and I pull off and I call the vendor and I let them know this is listed as unoccupied. It's occupied. And I'm sorry, this, that, and the other. You'll still get paid. I said, I'm not worried about that. I'm letting you know this is listed as unoccupied and it's occupied. Once my niece put that number in that man's door and the man opened the door, I have done cleanings alone. She has done cleanings alone. And also, this is North Carolina. If you're walking up and approaching someone's property and they don't know you, that can end very badly and nothing will happen to that person. So that, there's some positives and negatives. So that made me a little leery. So, and as I mentioned, my niece is a teacher anyway, and they're back in session. So, and I have my full-time job that I do also. But so this is something that you can do. The class, Melody has the class where it's weekly. You sign in remote. She's actually in the class. She's Melody. She's teaching the class and she's going through the paperwork. She's giving experiences and things like that. And when you complete the course, you will have a business. If you do the paperwork and you fill out your paperwork for the LLC and all of that. So for me, it's worth doing. And I've already been paid back what I paid for the class and also made extra money. I can see how there are people making a lot of money if they make that their only thing. But for me, just with what the mood is now in my state, I'm not sure. Unless I was doing jobs within my city, that would be okay. But I won't be driving an hour out because it really, the lay of the land changes depending on how far out I drive. So I'm going to read a few more comments. Still said it was definitely a bit creepy. That was exactly creepy. Sounds like a sundown town. And yes, everybody, in North Carolina, we do have sundown towns. Believe it or not, we have sundown towns. Linda Gamble speaking to Dot Willie. Linda Gamble says there's 13 likes and 9 in the chat. So some people have come in and stepped out. So I want to thank everybody. I've been here a half hour just talking. So I didn't do the actual Married to Medicine review, but we did. I just gave you a little update of what happened on the show. Like I said, it wasn't much, but I'm just going to get some rest today and just be here around my house and see everybody in the YouTube streets. Thank you for stopping in for my quick hot topics and story time. And I'll try to be live a few more days this week since I'm off the rest of this week. And I'm just trying to stay healthy because, as some of you know, we're leaving for St. Thomas on, I think, the 17th. I got to double check again, but we're going to have our long weekend, and that's going to be fun. So everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Was I on mute? Okay, I'm going to end the live now. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.